everyone, and welcome back to What's on My Bookshelf. So these are a little different than what you might normally see from what I would normally share, but these are if you are a drawer or a doodler or you're looking for some drawing kind of ideas. And I like these because sometimes you need new mark making ideas, or maybe you want to focus on drawing or learn how to do better botanical stuff. And I've just found some of these super cute or very helpful. So this first one is the Illustration School, Let's Draw Cute Animals, and I also have Let's Draw Plants and Small Creatures by Sahiko Umoto. So I'm sure I said that incorrectly, sorry, but these are super cute books with lovely little drawings and such. And this book kind of takes you through some how-tos, basics at the beginning, erasers, pencils, info, how to draw a few things before you get started. And then it just takes you through little projects that are super cute. How to start it and then build on it until you get to your final piece. And I just thought, you know, what a fun way to learn to draw different little elements, little figures, little plants, little drawings, illustrations, trees, garden here. Just kind of fun, like a little garden path. That's super fun. Just to practice different fun little elements. A butterfly. So they are kind of small in their drawing, but you can, you know, then translate that into a little bit bigger page in like your sketchbook and what have you. But it's just a cool little book of exercises taking you through each and every part of the illustration. And this is the same exact kind of book, only it's little animals and creatures and how to draw them from the side and the front and the back, laying down, standing up. So lots of good ideas here for doodling and drawing that I liked. So those are super fun. And then this one, You Can Draw in 30 Days by Mark Kistler. It's a pretty popular book that really gets you into the basics of drawing and how to draw different elements and perspective and faces and shading and just all of like the basics of drawing and how to get there when you just don't know what to do. And so it's always good to have like some basics in your library, and these are things that you studied maybe in art school, you know, as a kid, and maybe you have forgotten some of the very basics of drawing, like, you know, the direction that the light's coming in and the perspective and three-dimensional and how you get this, you know, box to look like it's three-dimensional and not flat, and some different elements like that that maybe, you know, we've studied once when we were younger and might not have gone back to. This is an excellent one for drawing and the very basics and the basic concepts. So that's a good one. Drawing book, how to draw the coolest things for all ages. So I got this one because it was flowers. And these are books I've had forever, so they're not new. And this just kind of goes through like, how do you get started and build that sketch up and kind of get to your final destination? This is that kind of book, just like those illustrating ones. How do you get from this to this and proportion it out and sketch it out and then draw your final line drawings from all your ideas. And this goes through a large variety of plants and flowers, and then talks about the basics here in the front, motor skills and practice. So that's a fun one. So this is a favorite for me. Wait, who wrote that one? I'll link it below. Doesn't have a name on it. 20 Ways to Draw a Tulip and 44 Other Fabulous Flowers by Lisa Congdon. Sorry, didn't mean to say that wrong. She has the most lovely illustrations and things that she does. And this book I find super inspiring because it has like, and the ranunculus I particularly like because that was my favorite flower to photograph. But it's tons and tons of ideas for drawing botanicals and stuff in your art. And if you're thinking, oh, I don't know what to draw, and maybe you don't have any plants handy because it's winter, and a book like this would be super helpful for then giving you some extra ideas. And you could be like, ooh, coneflowers, and here's all the ways that you could draw a coneflower. And then thistles. Thistles are fun because they're kind of a weird, spiky, colorful plant. Yeah, so this is one of my favorite books for ideas. I love bleeding hearts. My neighbors used to have a bleeding heart out front that every time it would bleed, I'd be out in the front yard laying down taking photos of his plants because it was on his side of the garden that we had out front. Because I live in a townhouse, so it's like half it's mine, half's his. And I'd be right out in his yard, my camera, and he'd be coming out, and I'd be like, sorry if I'm in your way. These are so beautiful. And I got like the best bleeding heart photos. And then one year they just quit coming back. I was kind of sad. I'm like, where are the bleeding hearts? So yeah, this book is just inspiring for ideas and shapes and different ways that you could draw. And look at the hollyhocks. That's a cool flower. That right there would be super cool in a whole page pattern design, any of those. So this is a great one for all the different flower types and giving you ideas on how you could draw these. And these are simplified line drawings. They're not like the more in-depth ones like we saw in this one, where it went from a basic sketch all the way to something complicated. This gets you that basic sketch, which is the goal a lot of times in mixed media work. So this one is one of my favorites for ideas, especially for drawing flowers. 20 Ways to Draw a Tulip by Lisa Congdon. And then this is really old too, because at some point I liked Zentangle stuff. So this is a Zentangle throwback. Creative Doodling and Beyond, Inspiring Exercises, Prompts, and Projects for Turning Simple Doodles into Beautiful Works of Art by Stephanie Corfey. And this again is got lots of projects and ideas in it, but what I like is that it's got lots of patterns and things that we could be inspired by, and it kind of takes you through like the basic shape and then adding in designs and then embellishing further and further and then color and getting to your final piece. And I like stuff like this because you can kind of see the progression and then painting on top for a mixed media kind of piece, or collaging like tissue paper on top. But I like being able to see the progression of a doodle or a design, because sometimes you'll look at that finished piece and you're like, where do I even start? And if you have something like this where you start off here and you add this and then you add those and then you keep going, you're like, oh, and then you can practice that exercise yourself. So it's just good ideas. So if you need mark making ideas and doodle ideas, look up some of the Zentangle doodle books, because it's just all ideas and creating and like letters and numbers and compositions. Here's a letter. Look at those fun letters. Like if you like to letter in your journal, lots of good ideas there. So I love books like this because it's got fun projects, but it also has fun information and ideas for being inspired with your doodling and getting a little more complicated than just doing like a little doodly flower or something. So that's super fun. So any of these Zentangle books are super fun. So Creative Doodling and Beyond. Alright, so that's some of the drawing books that I have been inspired to collect throughout the years. So I hope you enjoyed a look at some of those. If you could only have one, I'd pick this one. That's my favorite. And I'll see you guys next time.